My name is Jamelia. I always find it quite strange to describe who I am because I've been so many things, I've done so many things, and I still don't feel as if I know who or what I am yet. There are some facts that I can give you. I grew up in Hockley in Birmingham. I'm a very proud Brummie. I've been here all my life. I grew up with my two younger brothers and my mum. I didn't grow up with my mum. My mum is my mum. Okay, sorry. I became a singer at the age of 15, and I'm also the mother to three, I can't say little girls anymore because my eldest just turned 18, so yeah, 3 children, 3 daughters. Yeah, okay. Now, I love the theme of today's event, an age of change. And the reason why I love the theme is because I believe that change is what creates incredible futures and incredible realities for people. And I believe that it's always an age of change. And I think we have to hold on to that and remember that. Now, I want to present an idea to you. It's probably more of a belief for me, and the reason why it's a belief is because I absolutely know it to be true. And the idea is that change is often an evolutionary revolution. Now, let me give you the definitions of those 2 words. An evolution is the gradual development of something, and a revolution is the overthrow of a social order in favor of a new system. Now, these definitions are very important, but by the end of this speech, I want them to be important to you. Oh, I've calmed down now a little bit. All right. Now, my mum was born in 1963 to Jamaican parents. My grandparents came over on the Windrush. Now, I'm not sure if you know much about people who came over from Jamaica and other Caribbean countries in the Windrush, but they basically chose the well-behaved ones, the obedient rule followers, and which is great. So it means that my grandparents got let in. That sounds really bad, but they did. Now, my grandparents came here for better opportunities for them and their growing families. Now, this created a bit of a problem when they had my mom, who was a creative. Now, as we know, creatives don't necessarily always follow the rules. My mom enjoyed poetry, but was told that poetry was not a way to pay the bills. She enjoyed drawing. She's got these incredible pictures of fruits and landscapes and realistic pictures of people, and she's very proud of them, but her parents weren't. She was always told that the only way forward and the only way to be successful is through academics, to go to school, college, university, and get a real job. Why can't you be more like your sister? That was something that she was told on so many occasions. Now, my mom's sister, my auntie, she was a straight A student. She was a straight A student. She finished school, went to college, went to university, and became a teacher, and did it in the way that my grandparents were proud of. My mum believed that being an academic was better because these are the ideas that were continuously fed to her over the years, and so she believed that. And that resulted in her actually leaving school before finishing and running away from home. Now, without knowing it, she did actually pursue her creative side by volunteering to work with children at the local play centre. And she was amazing at it. She had so many creative ideas. She was unrestricted and very encouraging. And anyone who went to that play centre will tell you these things, that she was brilliant. She was so brilliant that she became the boss of the whole establishment. And for me, that was so inspirational to watch, to have a front row seat to someone as become a volunteer and work her way up to running the whole place. The reason why it was important, and I think a phenomenal achievement, is the fact that she did it without the academics that she thought she needed to be successful. I got to see determination, hard work, creative ideas in, being it as an example, and above all, defiance. And I think defiance is very, very important if you want to be the type of person to inspire change. It's all about resisting the status quo. Now, luckily for me, I got my mom. Now, when I went to my mom and told her I wanted to be a forensic scientist, until I realized I'd have to work with dead people, a midwife, until I realized I had to be at the business end of things, a karate dan, yes, what? I could have done it. I got an orange belt. But the point is, she encouraged it. And she encouraged everything. Every idea I came to her, I was never told that it was a silly idea or something not worth pursuing. So I was not afraid to approach her with the idea of becoming a singer. Even though she got even more backlash from family and friends telling her, are you not going to encourage her I was 15, by the way. Are you not going to encourage her to go to college, to go to university? She has to have some academics. And my mom was just like, no, she can do this. She can do this without the academics. I just want to point out at this point, I am absolutely not trashing education or academia. I feel that if that's your thing, that's absolutely great. But not everyone is destined to become a lawyer, a doctor, a mathematician, or something, a profession that requires strong academic knowledge, if that even makes sense. Sorry, I didn't go to university. Anyway. Now, the defiance that my mom had to be successful despite not having letters after her name was something that was passed on to me. So when I entered into the entertainment industry and was told that I was way too dark to make it, literally face to face by an executive of a record label, that there's no way I can make it because my skin is too dark. My accent was too common. And being a child of a single parent wasn't good for my image. But I was defiant. And I went forward with confidence. And even when I got pregnant at 20, I required that defiance again, because at that time, I was a part of a culture where if you got pregnant in the music industry, you were immediately dropped from your record label. There are many artists I know that it happened to. You probably won't be familiar with them because they didn't have the opportunity to flourish purely because they had the audacity to reproduce. If anyone knows of me, I can't keep my mouth shut. And so I decided that I have to say something. And so I spoke out about it. I didn't hide my pregnancy. I was loud, I was proud, and I celebrated it. And I thought that it was great to do that and important to do that. I also spoke about the injustice of women, because obviously it can only affect women, being dropped from their record labels for being pregnant. They couldn't drop me after that. So I then had my most successful album to date. I sold 3 million records in the UK alone. I toured the world. I shared the stage with Justin Timberlake, Usher, and Beyonce. I could go on, but you have Google now, so yeah. Now, my daughter's childhood was very different to mine, of course. Whilst a huge portion of her childhood was still within a single-parent family, I didn't have a lot of the struggles and stresses that my mom had. And luckily for me, she was a creative too. And because of my mom, I knew exactly what to do with that. Now, having children in a middle to upper class setting is quite interesting, particularly having black children. And being a part of the entertainment industry, it kind of encourages you to take a deeper look at your existence within it. As a black woman, it was actually quite anomalous for me to be for me to be there, for me to be successful, also being from a working class background, and also having a Brummy accent, whatever. So when I had my daughters, I felt a real need to change that, particularly as I knew that I could see that they were creative. And I thought, well, what if they want to go into the creative industries? What if they want to be on stage in the theatre or sing? I don't want them to have to face the same issues that I had to face. And so now I have to change the game. Let me just tell you a quick story. I've literally got like 2 minutes. That ain't gonna happen. All right, anyway. So my eldest daughter, she goes to a performing arts school, and she was so excited when they announced that they were putting on Hamilton. Hamilton is one of our favorite musicals. And so obviously it's Hamilton. She's black. She thought, psh, I'm in there. They actually put the show on with an almost all-white cast. Now, let me tell you why this is a huge problem. Hamilton was actually created by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I hope I got that right. And the intention behind him writing it was purely to give opportunities to people from black and ethnic minorities, purely because they don't get those opportunities in the theatre world. So you can imagine not only my daughter, but anyone of black and ethnic minority within that school, you can imagine their disappointment at not being given the opportunity to take the stage. They got together and made a formal complaint, and I was so proud, so proud. And I thought that that would inspire great change, but instead, the next show that they chose to put on was Legally Blonde. I'm not joking. So as you can see, changes still need to be made, and my daughter and her friends, the fact that they were brave enough to do something like that was so inspirational to me. And so it caused me to kind of have my own reincarnation. I mentioned at the beginning that I have been many people and I do many things, and you know, I've occupied many spaces and stuff like that. And this change, this new version of me, I feel is probably my most important, because I feel as if I'm changing things for my daughters. So now I speak out, now I'm open about being black. And I know it sounds really weird, but let me give you, okay, all right, ladies. You know when you get home and you take your bra off and you're like, ah, you know, you don't have to admit, but yeah, you know. But, well, as a black woman, sometimes in certain environments, you take your whole outside self off and have that feeling. And I don't want that for my children. I've got 3 daughters, so therefore I've created 3 more black women. Look out, guys. And I don't want that for them. And I feel that I'm in a position to create change. I'm in a position to make a difference. And I have to use the platform that I have. It would be a waste otherwise, because it's not fair. It's not fair that you have to not have natural hair. It's not fair that you have to pretend or turn down your blackness just to make other people comfortable. When it comes to when people speak out about equality and having freedom, freedom is being able to be yourself in your entirety, and the only way that you get to do that is to actually be yourself in your entirety. And occasionally, not occasionally, quite a lot of the time, that can look like activism. That can look like you're, you know, literally putting on a Black Panther uniform and going like this, which is fine, but that's what it looks like to some people. And I think until me walking into a room with my natural hair is not a thing, is not something to be gawked at, and you don't feel that it's cool to come and put your hand in it, and it happens. It happens a lot. It hasn't happened today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But you know, until my existence and the existence of my daughters is normalized, I still have to use my platform. I've gone way over my time, by the way. They're going to literally come and drag me out, but I got things to say. I'm sorry. Right. But yeah, so, and that's what I feel the need to do. Now, when I say that change is an evolutionary revolution, had the people before me not made the changes that they made, I would not be able to exist. And in the same way, the changes that I am hoping to inspire I hope that they provide a completely new environment for my daughters and people like my daughters to also exist. But what I also need is for you all to understand that you are all capable of the same revolutionary change. You literally hold soapboxes and platforms in the palm of your hand. Use it. Use it. If you feel marginalized, if you feel wronged, if you feel that there's something that needs to be spoken about, do it. Because that is what creates change. That is what literally changes the world. Don't ever believe that your part and what you are doing is insignificant. A small change is still a change, and it is so important that you do it. As I said, I've gone way over my time. I hope what I've said makes sense. And thank you so much for having me. And I want you all to understand that you are the revolution. And I want you to all take part in it. Thank you so much. Go, go. Thank you.